Hi, I'm Currie Andrews. I'm a co-owner of Andrews Cadillac and Land Rover with my son Nelson. We've been here since 1979. We opened up in September of '79 and just celebrated our 30th anniversary this last week, actually. Michigan is a automotive state, and when I got out of grad school, went to work for American Motors International because I didn't want anyone to say my father-in-law offered me a job. So did that for 3 years, traveled all over the world, and then got tired of doing that. Then I went to work for Cadillac Motor Car Division and worked for Cadillac for 9 years, 1 year in Denver, and 1 year in Detroit, and then 8 years in Denver. And then after that, came back to Detroit and went into my father-in-law's Cadillac dealership because he was ill with emphysema. We were approached by Cadillac Motor Car Division in 1977 because they wanted to purchase our Cadillac dealership in Detroit to put in another dealer of their choosing, but they gave us the right to relocate anywhere in the United States where they had an open point. So we looked at San Diego and Dublin, Ohio, and Tyson's Corner in New York, and Florida, and Nashville, and Denver again. But my wife really liked Nashville, and we kind of fell in love with it. Close proximity to Michigan, a good transitional movement area out of Detroit. So that's why we picked Nashville. Good quality cars then, and it was easy to sell because we didn't have the competition that we had today. Our only competition then was Oldsmobile and Lincoln. And now, of course, we have more competition with Lexus and Mercedes and BMW and the others. But then it was a little easier and lucky for us that it was because the economy in 1980 transitioned from 4% interest rates up to a prime of 21.5%. And that kind of hurt for 2 to 3 years. But luckily, we got through that, and the family did all the work around the dealership, mowing and cleaning and everything that we had to do. And Nelson and Kelly, our son and daughter, really learned how to work, and they learned the value of a dollar. So that was our early entree into Brentwood, and we're lucky that we had some good products to sell at that time. So we knew nobody. We got to know Andrew Benedict and John Toon, who was our lawyer downtown. They introduced us to a lot of people, and it took us 2 to 3 years, frankly. We've been doing well with Cadillac, and in spring of 1987, Land Rover approached us and asked us if we'd be interested in taking on their line of off-road vehicles. Well, I didn't know anything about Land Rover, and so I called a couple of Cadillac dealer friends of mine who they said had taken on the line, one in Colorado Springs and another one in California. And they said, well, we've analyzed it, and we think it's something that's really worth considering. And we have already signed up, and you need to sign up because we're all going to go to England in September, and we want you to be part of the team. Nelson has worked in all the different areas of the dealership all through high school. Then when he went to college at Vanderbilt, he would come back and work here in the summer in accounting or whatever area we needed him. And after he graduated from college, our agreement was that he would go out and do something on his own so that he would know whether he wanted to be in the car business or some other business. So he got his own job working with 24-hour road service in Detroit, and moved to Detroit and was there for about 6 months or so, and then convinced them that because he was good with computers, they sent him to EDS in Plano, Texas, Ross Pro's company that GM had purchased. So he did that and ended up being at the top of his class, and they kept him on as a AI assistant instructor down there for a period of time, training the last 2 weeks, I think, of each graduating class. And then they sent him to Denver for, I think, 2 years. And then he was gone 4 years. Then he decided he wanted to come back to Nashville. And so he came back and came into the dealership and worked as our assistant general manager. But at the same time, he was taking the one graduate school program, the alternating weekend program. So he did that, and then he graduated right at the top of that. And so he has 50 friends now that he meets with on a regular basis. But then he's been our general manager now at Cadillac and Land Rover for about 10 years or so. Well, I guess I'm going to tell you the story of my father-in-law, because he was president of the Michigan Automobile Dealers Association, Detroit Automobile Dealers Association, the Cadillac Dealers of Michigan. And they asked him what his favorite color was one time, thinking that he would say green, for money. And he said red taillights going over the curb, meaning car sales. So I guess I don't have a favorite. I just like to see the red taillights going over the curb. Actually, there have been so many of them over the years that I don't know if I could pinpoint any specific one. It's just been meeting so many different interesting people over the years for both Cadillac and Land Rover that live in Nashville, and even the Titans coming in and the Predators coming in, and presidents of banks and different personalities that have purchased from us over the years. That has just been fun to meet a broad range of people, not anyone specifically, but just a lot in general, that have made it a very exciting lifetime. Being honest, ethical. People don't have short memories, they have long memories, and we've just always tried to empower our people. We have 130 people at both dealerships, and tell them we want them to use the Ritz-Carlton method of being honest with people and greeting people and doing the right thing. And my father-in-law taught me years ago, you better not tell a lie, because a month from now you won't have a clue what you said. So you just try to be honest with people and do the best you can, and give them their money's worth when you sell them cars, and try to take care of them when they come in for service, and try to remember their names, because it's important. One thing that a person likes more than anything else is to hear his own name or her own name. As far as what the future holds, the 30 years have gone by fast. It amazes me. From the first time we've been here, we didn't know anybody. Now we know quite a few people. And luckily Nelson has been involved in so many things with his wife and family that he actually knows more people than I do now, I think. But we just are going to do the best we can to ensure that the next 30 years is as good as the last 30 years, and that our kids want to get into, the grandchildren want to get into the business, that we have it to a point where they can.